你好. In the previous lesson, we learned 会, a modal verb that means to know how to do something. We're learning another modal verb 能 in this lesson, which overlaps just a little bit with 会, but has a whole new set of usage as well. Let's get started. Do you remember how to say I know how to drive using 会? 我会开车.我会开车. We can replace 会 with 能 here, and the sentence goes 我能开车.我能开车. It translates to something like I'm able to drive. Now, this may sound like splitting hair to some people, but I want to make it clear that 我能开车 has two connotations. One is similar to 我会开车, I know how to drive. I've acquired the skill to drive. The other is more like I'm able to drive due to circumstances. What kind of circumstances? It could be that I'm sober enough to drive, or that I have the international driving permit so I can drive in this specific country, or that I've recovered from a foot injury and now I can drive. Regardless, we can always tell which connotation 我能开车 is referring to by context, so don't worry too much about it. However, if 能 is not followed by a skill, but a basic action that even babies can do, it means something different. For example, 我姐姐很能睡. 我姐姐很能睡. My older sister sleeps a lot. How would you say, my older brother eats a lot? 我哥哥很能吃. 我哥哥很能吃. In this case, 能 means someone really can do something. 能 can also be used in questions. Here in Chinese is 这里,这里. To sit, 坐, 坐. To sit here, 坐这里, 坐这里. We can use the 我能什么什么吗 structure to ask for permissions or to check availability. 我能坐这里吗?我能坐这里吗? Do you mind if I sit here? To answer that, we'd have to use another modal verb. 可以,可以. If we want to sound more enthusiastic, we can add of course before 可以. Of course in Chinese is 当然,当然. Of course you can. 当然可以,当然可以. Or if you like to sound more polite, you could say 请坐,请坐. And it sounds like yes please. A small recap. Do you mind if I sit here in Chinese is 我能坐这里吗?我能坐这里吗? Of course you can. 当然可以,当然可以. Or you could say yes please. 请坐,请坐. Let's look at another example. Credit cards. 信用卡,信用卡. 信用 means credits, and 卡 is a card. To use credit cards. 用信用卡,用信用卡. To check out. 结账,结账. To use credit cards to check out. 用信用卡结账,用信用卡结账. Can I use credit cards to check out? 我能用信用卡结账吗?我能用信用卡结账吗? In China, you can use credit cards in most fancy places, like a modern-looking mall or an international hotel chain. Street vendors and smaller businesses usually only take Alipay or WeChat payments. When you ask the staff to check out using credit cards, you might want to remind them that it's a foreign credit card because they'll use a different machine and oftentimes a specific checkout location to process the payment. Foreign currency is 外币,外币. Can I use foreign credit cards to check out? 我能用外币信用卡结账吗?我能用外币信用卡结账吗? Let's look at the last usage of 能 today, which is to make a request. To go home, 回家,回家. To see me home, 送我回家,送我回家. 送 literally means to accompany here. To drive me home, we're literally saying to drive to see me home. 开车送我回家,开车送我回家. Can you drive me home? Here's where we use the 你能什么什么吗 structure to make a request. 你能开车送我回家吗？你能开车送我回家吗？ To answer that question, I would say hop in. 上车吧。上车吧。上车 means to get in the car, and 吧 is used to turn this imperative sentence into a suggestion and make the speaker sound more friendly. Alright, that's it for today. We've learned how 能 can be used to mean to be able to ask for permission or availability, or to make a request. Hope you like this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. 谢谢，再见。